everyone. Welcome to another episode of Turning the Key at SNG, the podcast where we bring customers and colleagues together to shine a light on the stories shaping our homes, services and communities. If you tuned in for the last two episodes, you'll remember the amazing Nicola, one of our customers, guest hosted two fantastic conversations around sustainability. Today, we're shifting focus, but staying firmly rooted in the heart of SNG's purpose, creating safe, supported places where people can thrive. We're heading to the Isle of Wight to talk about SNG's Foyer, what it is, how young people can access the service and where it sits within SNG's supported housing offer. But beyond the structure of the service, we're looking at the human side, the first impressions, the friendships formed, the support that helps young people steady themselves in uncertain situations. So I'll be joined by two guests who bring both lived experience and frontline expertise. I'll be speaking with Luis Montague, a resident of the Foyer, about the journey that brought him there, the moment he realised the Foyer could truly help, and the goals that he's working towards now, and his love of fishing. We'll also hear from Nina Kennerdale, one of the Foyer's team leaders, about what draws her to this work, the challenges young people face, and how trauma-informed approaches show up daily inside the service. Together, we'll explore community, misconceptions, hope, and what people might be surprised to learn about the reality of youth homelessness. So what is a foyer? A youth foyer is a type of supported housing that is designed for young people aged roughly between 16 to 30 who can't live at home and may have experienced homelessness. This model combines safe, affordable accommodation with structured opportunities in education, employment, and personal development, helping young people make a stable transition to adulthood. Today, we're focusing on SNG's Foyer in Ryde on the Isle of Wight. The Foyer on the island provides accommodation and support services for up to 45 young people aged 18 to 30. It also operates severe weather provision, which is utilised by the Isle of Wight Council in hot and cold periods. The accommodation consists of ensuite bedsits arranged across 9 flats, each with their own kitchen. The building is set over 5 floors and hosts a fully equipped gym, mezzanine seating, breakout spaces and meeting rooms. So that's the bigger picture of what a youth foyer is and what the Ryde Foyer offers. But the best way to understand its impact is to hear from the people who know it best. So let's introduce our guests. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you please introduce yourselves? I'll start with you, Lewis.
So, hi, I'm Luis. I'm 21 and I'm a resident of the Foyer and also the president.
President-resident?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nina and I'm a team leader at the Foyer. I have been there 23 years.
Cool. That's impressive.
Yeah, I've been there 23 years.
And you haven't got bored yet?
Absolutely not. I love it.
Good part with me.
So, Lewis, we're going to come over to you first.
Yeah.
So, before we get into your experience here, I'd love to step back a bit and understand where your journey began. So, can you tell me a little bit about what life was like for you before you came to the Foyer?
Life was all right. I was living with my mum and a few of my brothers and sisters. I was working, I was doing pretty well. And then things took a little bit of a turn. Me and Mum had quite a big argument, and that's when I became homeless, and that is how I found the Foyer.
Okay. So how did you first hear about the Foyer, and what made you decide to explore it as an option?
So my mum mentioned about going to the council to sort out some housing for me. So I went down there, and they spoke about the Foyer, and I heard some pretty bad stories about it at first. But when I got there, I realised it was quite good, very, very relaxed. You know, the people in there, the other residents are really well behaved, nice, all around good atmosphere.
So what sort of things did you hear before you saw it for yourself?
I heard a few names that had a bad reputation for themselves, but once I actually got in there, got to know these people, they weren't what the reputation was.
Mm. So you decided to go, and arriving somewhere new can be obviously a massive moment. Oh, yeah. And I would like to know what that felt like for you. So do you remember your first day arriving and what stood out to you?
What stood out was the actual size of the place. It's quite a big, quite nice, well looked after building. It's
quite modern, isn't it, as well? Yeah. I've been lucky enough to visit, and it definitely stays with you once you've seen it.
Yeah.
Did connecting with others help you settle in?
Yeah, 100%, because we were all kind of sort of in the same situation, and known a few people in there anyway from high school or primary school. Is a lot easier to settle in.
So it's nice having some familiar faces.
Oh yeah.
Was there anyone else that arrived at the same time as you?
No, I've done my nan that helped drop my stuff off. No.
Is your nan a big part of your life?
Oh yeah. She's helped me with almost everything. She's always been there. She helped me out sofa surfing when my mum kicked me out for a little bit. So yeah.
I can't imagine it's easy to think past the next day when you're not sure.
No, I'm always thinking about what I've got to do that day. Every time I wake up, I've got to think about what I'm doing. I'm going to sort everything out.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can take a little while before something clicks and you realise that you're in the right place. Was there a particular moment early on when you were in the foyer that you realised actually this place might really help?
Yeah, definitely. So the staff, they're a big help. They point you in the right direction. You know, trying to keep you on the right track. That's what really stood out to me.
How did they do that? Like in a practical way, what do they do to help you stay on the right track? What works?
Well, for me, it was just talking to me, to talk about everything that I needed to do, having a plan for my future, and that plan's all come together now.
Yeah. Did you know what you needed to do beforehand?
Not really, but yeah, speaking to a lot of the staff like Nina here, she's been really helpful. She's pointing me in the right direction as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's so hard, isn't it? Like you leave school and it's like, oh yeah, go. You know,
I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do for like 2 years.
Who does? Let alone with anything else additional that you're having to then deal with. So I really sympathise with that. So what, other than talking, obviously you've mentioned, has been really helpful for you? Was there any other kind of support that you have found helpful since moving in, like whether it is from the staff to the programmes or the community?
Yeah, there's a lot of services within the foyer. You've got skills for work. They do all sorts of courses. We do resident meetings as well. So if you are new there, you can get to know everyone. And
is that what you're president of?
Yeah, that's what. It's kind of what I do. I'm supposed to be hosting some resident meetings and just speaking to all the residents, see what they want to improve from the foyer, and I pass that on to all the higher ups and managers and stuff.
That's quite a nice position to be in.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can take it all on board and then go, by the way, you need to do this, this and this.
Yeah.
Do you find it's received well when you feed back to the higher ups?
Yeah. Not long ago, a lot of the residents, including me, wanted like either a pool table or like a games machine.
Yeah, nice.
And I ended up getting a proper old school Pac-Man machine.
Oh, ace.
Yeah, and I think that was really cool.
Did you even know what Pac-Man was? You're so young.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Classic, I suppose. That's really cool then. So I suppose it's really lovely actually seeing some of that feedback arrive and be a physical thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. So as you settled in and you felt a bit more grounded, I imagine that you began to think about like what you wanted for your future.
Yeah.
So what goals have you set yourself and how are you working towards them?
Staying on top of my rent and really just trying to learn a lot about tenancies and learn a lot about moving out, because in school they just don't really teach you anything like that.
So you mentioned staying on top of your rent is a big goal of yours and stuff. Have you noticed yourself getting better at dealing with that as time's gone on?
Yeah. First time living there, I wasn't really keeping on top of my rent. I was being well badly behaved. But moving here again, I've been staying on top of everything, I believe.
I love that. You look over to Nina and just like a bit of reassurance.
Yeah, I had to reassure.
Oh, it sounds like a positive step forward though. And like, yeah, to be fair, like my partner deals with like gas and electric and always has. I ain't got a clue. And I'm glad that I'm lucky I can rely on him, because I have not got an absolute clue on where to even start with that. I get that. I do get that. So looking at the bigger picture now, there's been quite a transformation. Like you can see how far you've come. How do you feel you've changed since moving in to the foyer?
I think I've changed a lot for the better, really. Did have a little bit of a drug problem at the beginning, but we sorted that out.
Was that with the support of the foyer, or was that external services?
It was mostly by myself and a few of the staff. And just telling me this doesn't really get you anywhere in life. It doesn't help you. Like as much, like a lot of people use drugs to like escape whatever got going on. But I didn't really have anything going on at the time when I was doing that. So I was just doing it for the sake of doing it. But they've sorted me right out, and not really doing anything illegal.
Well done.
Any bad stuff.
Yeah. Is the temptation there? Do you think about it?
Oh yeah, because there's maybe few of the residents get up to some things, but yeah, no, I try to stay out of it.
Well done.
Try hard to stay out of it.
That's impressive. I think that shows quite a lot of willpower as well. So what's different about your life now compared to when you first arrived?
Ooh, good question. Well, a lot of things changed. I think I'm a lot more. I can speak to people a lot more, because before I moved in there, I was in a shell. Didn't really speak to anyone. So yeah, since moving there, I think I'm a lot more open with everything, and
You can see the benefit of talking.
oh yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like, problem shared is a problem halved. I'm a big believer in that. So with everything you've achieved so far, I am sure that there are moments that do stand out to you. What's something that you're really proud of right now?
Just being here today.
Yay!
Just being here today.
I'll take that. I think it speaks volumes that you're comfortable enough to. That's one thing, living it. It's another thing reflecting on it, talking about it, reliving it. So I respect that massively.
Thank you.
And I think, you never know how many people you're helping just from talking as well, especially on a public platform like this.
Yeah, and hopefully this does help a lot of residents of Foyers, or just young people that, are in trouble.
You should have a screening.
It's all good.
You should have a screening of this in the foyer when it's released. Or have a sofa night, get pizza.
I was going to do it when Luis did the last film.
Yes.
I was going to do an Oscar night.
Oh!
And we were going to have a red
bit
carpet, and I was going to get a little Oscar and stuff.
Oh, more reason to now.
Yeah, I suppose.
And we've also mentioned that you are the president resident.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've spoken a little bit about what that involves, but what made you want to take that on?
Oh, second time moving in there, there was like an election thing going on, and I didn't really know much about what was going on, but I knew I'd really like being a president, because I know the building very well, know all the staff, most of the residents, so I thought I'd be perfect for the role, and here I am, the president.
Were you elected?
Yeah.
All by votes as well?
Yeah, votes. There were 3 other people, Cam and Levi. They're good lads. Well, Cam's moved out now. He's on to big things.
How is it when people move out? Like, what's that like in terms of staying in touch? Do you stay in touch with some people?
Yeah, it depends how good of a relationship I've got with them. So I suppose I think people just more get on with life once they've moved out of the foyer. They've got everything planned out, they've got everything lined up, how they want it done, and they just do it. And if that might mean cutting out maybe 1 or 2 relationships, but it doesn't hurt any feelings. It's all right.
You're there for your own good at this point, aren't you?
Yeah.
Also, a little birdie told me that fishing is a big interest of yours.
Yes, I've been fishing forever. Since I can remember.
Who taught you?
My dad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's a big part of your life. What do you enjoy about it?
Ooh, it's probably just the thrill of actually hooking the fish. Or if you've got a little float that it will go under if the fish, so I took it. Seeing that disappearing and the rod bending, just feeling the weight of the fish.
Nice satisfaction with it.
Yeah, and then actually seeing what fish you've caught once you've got it to the surface, actually having a look at it. It's pretty cool.
It is a very good reason to be living on an island.
Oh, yeah.
As well, to be fishing.
Yeah.
Like, you must have to travel, 15 minutes and maximum, and you're at a beach.
Oh, yeah, just down the road.
Yeah.
End of the pier.
You've got your favourite spot.
Oh, yeah.
You got your spot. And have you been helping others with fishing as well?
Yeah. One of the residents, Kai, he knew a little bit about fishing, but he saw me going off fishing one day, and he asked me if he could come with. So I took him with, taught him a lot of fishing knots, and caught him his first few fish.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it?
Oh, yeah, he loved it.
Yeah.
After that, we went fishing for quite a while, but I think he's kind of stopped fishing since the weather's been crap.
Oh, yeah. We won't talk about our weather.
No.
I was like, for anyone listening, we've just had all the flooding, was it last week? And we weren't sure you'd be making it today all the way.
We did.
You did make it. That's the commitment over here. I love that. But I think your story is such a powerful example of what the right support in the right place can do for someone. And I think you speak very eloquently about that, and take credit for that. That you should know that within yourself, that
Thank
you're
you.
capable of doing that and doing it in such a good way, and that you are then able to pass that on to others and hopefully help them too.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So, Nina, before we dive into the work that you do here, I'd love for listeners to get a sense of who you are and the journey that brought you to the Foyer. So can you tell us a little bit about your career path and what led you to your role as a team leader?
I started my career working in a residential children's home 30 years ago. Did that when my daughter was young, and then I did some youth work as well. I met somebody, I can't remember where I was now, but I met somebody that ran a foyer in Manchester.
Oh, okay.
And they told me that we'd got a foyer on the island. I hadn't heard of it. It had been open for about 18 months then.
So were you local to Ryde at this point?
No, I was on the island, but obviously not in Ryde.
Okay.
And he told me all the ethos and background of what a foyer did, and it just sounded perfect to me. So about 4 months later, a job came up. I saw it in the local paper and I applied for it, and I've been there ever since. So that's 23 years.
Cool, that's good going.
Yeah, and I love it.
So what kind of first drew you to working with young people and specifically into the world of supported accommodation?
Like I said, I started off in a residential children's setting and really enjoyed that, and did some what they called satellite work, which was another word for the young people that were coming out of the children's home when they were reaching sort of 15, 16. You work with them in a one-to-one basis in a flat setting. So you were teaching them the independent skills for them to go on and live independently. And also, you know, I had some friends growing up who were quite vulnerable in their family setting, and remembering that and how that felt for them. And I just wanted to put something back. And from the day that I started working there, it's just, I just love working there. I love going into the foyer. I love the young people that we work with, what we do, what the outcomes are.
The purpose of it all.
Absolutely. And no day is the same.
I bet.
Yeah, no day is the same.
So you've got like quite a unique vantage point into the challenges that young people face, especially around housing and stability. From your experience, what are the most prevalent issues that young people are facing today when it comes to housing and homelessness?
I mean, it's changed over the years, but at this specific time, I do think it is affordability. You know, it's very difficult to afford a property if you're on a basic benefit.
Yeah.
Also, it's the same if you want to go out to work, and it all comes down to that affordability and even being accepted for a property on what you're earning. Especially the younger, you know, everybody who's living in the same sort of environment should really be getting the same benefits, but they're not. So the younger residents are getting less than the ones that are 25 and over.
How does that work then?
Because it's a government. If you're over 25, you're entitled to more money.
Right. Is this in terms of like universal credit?
It is, yes,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, affordability is a big issue at the moment. So that's been a bit of an obstacle, which we are, you know, we're working really, really well with SNG lettings and the local council to get young people accommodated for move on. Again, you've got the affordability of the bills and the housing crisis and everything like that. And I think, you know, there's lots of other obstacles there that young people face. The you know, exploitation of living in that environment, and you're very vulnerable. So the normal things that young people go through drugs and alcohol. You know, there's lots of people out there that will prey on a setting like the foyer and the young people that are in there.
Do you come across that much?
We do, yes, yeah.
Where do you start with tackling that?
We work closely with the police. We work closely with safeguarding. So we will do referrals if we think people are at risk. And we try and keep an eye on what's going on, and we will report to the right lines. The building's very safe. We don't have many people coming in there. So I think that's one thing that the residents do feel, that they are in a safe environment. But outside is a different matter.
And then it's getting ready to deal with the outside. Like, you might be just about ready to deal with the inside, then getting outside.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of the young people arriving at the foyer may have had difficult experiences with services or adults in position of authority. So how do you go about building trust with young people who may not feel safe or confident opening up at first?
I mean, building those relationships is one of the things that we prioritise, creating that trusting relationship and being honest, being consistent, being authentic, following through what you're gonna do, being honest with what you can and can't do, and just building on that and waiting for those young people to see that they can build that trust and not forcing the issue. And again, I think, positively challenging, keeping your boundaries safe.
Yes.
That's for backgrounds of whatever people come through, I think to be boundaried and having that safe environment creates those trusting relationships.
So if someone, say a new team leader was joining tomorrow, what would your advice be to them? Your professional boundaries would be number one, to allow those relationships to grow. Again, the consistency, authentic, honest, saying what you mean, and just to follow that through. And we all try to sing from the same sheet. So, it is an adult to adult service. And if we're all putting across the same message, then our residents know that everyone in that team has the same values. So the other side of that, though, is hearing young people's stories and supporting them through tough times can be so emotionally heavy. How do you personally manage the emotional weight of what you're hearing from day to day?
I mean, we've got such a fantastic team, and, it's okay at work. We do a lot of supervision. We do a lot of team meetings. And again, that's a safe place to talk about things and offload. Because some days might just be really difficult.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And I think your colleagues pick up on that. So they will say, right, well, we'll go and deal with this today. You go and sit in the office. And, it's very difficult to have a perfect work-life balance, but it's really important that we try and do that the best that we can. So it's about how again, you might have a day where you do take it home with you, but it's about how you deal with that.
Yeah. And I think, the length of time that you've been at the Foyer speaks to how you manage that emotional weight. And obviously you found a good balancing way to do that.
Absolutely.
So credit to you for that.
Thank you.
So the Foyer takes a bear with me.
Well,
this is a very wordy one. The Foyer takes a psychologically informed and trauma-informed approach, which sounds very straightforward on paper, but in practice, it's very human and very nuanced. So what does that actually look like day to day for you and your team?
Okay, so the priority is about creating a safe environment. The two concepts, trauma-informed and psychologically informed, just complement each other really nicely. And it is about, when a young person comes into the service, it's a non-judgmental approach, looking and understanding at how trauma can affect anybody and how that would look in behaviours, in how somebody acts. And it's about us asking why, looking past the behaviours and asking, I wonder what's happened to this person. Again, it's about them building trusting relationships with each other, with us. And it's about us being their guide, really. It's about their choices. It's about us collaborating with them, working with them. Very adult to adult service. So
I like it that you keep saying adult to adult, because obviously throughout this I'm constantly saying young person and youth and all of this. Like, is a bit of a buzzword, but actually adult to adult, just say it as it is.
It is still young people, but if it was parental, then the long-term outcomes and goals wouldn't be the same, because they wouldn't be empowered to make their own decisions and choices. And again, what Luis said earlier, it's great to see how the peer support is with each other.
Yeah.
And that is what is important.
Yeah. So you do all this work and, you know, you're doing everything that you need to do, and then all of a sudden you must see examples of you guys like helping your peers and kind of you reinforce that same message, and you're like, oh, I've done my job.
And that's what works. That's what's going to work in the long run. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just, and it's about the tone of voice. It's about how we speak, how our policies are written, what signs we put up in the building, how that tone of voice comes across.
Yeah.
But also it's about the staff resilience, staff training, reflective practice that creates that whole holistic environment.
A question for you, Luis. Have you seen it within your peers or people that may have like joined after you have joined, that you can obviously see that they have a perception of adults in their head, and now they're learning this brand new type of adult, let's say, you know, like the support workers and the team leaders that have a completely different approach to what they might be used to. Do you see that kind of play out in front of you sometimes?
Yeah, kind of. A lot of the young people that move in there, they see some of the staff or like some of the adults in the building that's just like trying to be your parent or something, and they're not. They're trying to help the residents like kind of grow up a little bit. Just get on with life. So
there's often stereotypes as well attached to young people who need supported accommodation. So are there any common misconceptions about young people in supported accommodation that you wish more people understood?
Yeah, I think a lot of people's perceptions is that the young people are there as a punishment, and that it's a negative place to be.
Interesting.
And I encountered that once. We used to do some road shows for the 2 Freshers' Weeks up at the local college.
Yeah.
And one of the tutors went past and said, quite flippantly, oh, I always threaten my child with the foyer if they're...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I challenged that, and she did come back and apologise.
Good.
And that is not the case.
No.
You know, sometimes it's choice that young people are there, sometimes it's not. You know, more often than not, we're seeing that private rents, families are losing their private rents, they're having to go into smaller properties. But for whatever reason, anyone comes to the foyer, it's not as a punishment.
Oh, that's so interesting. I wasn't expecting you to say anything along those lines, but it makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think there's like a naivety wrapped around it almost.
Absolutely. Well, and ignorance as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So despite the challenges, there are always these moments that can reinforce why this work matters. What moments or experiences remind you why you do what you do?
Days like today.
Oh, look at that. I love this.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
You deserve to be here. I hope you know that.
And Luis does as well. So there's lots of moments that reinforce why you do it. Every day there is something, anything. Someone making eye contact for the first time. Yeah. Someone coming and asking something, someone coming out of their room, someone joining in with an activity. You know,
how many moments do you have where someone turns around and you're like, yes, pump in the air?
Someone pays the rent, anything. Oh, yes. Anything. Honestly, anything can make you feel. So you know to take the wins. You know to take those wins. Yeah.
What a nice way to look at life.
Yeah.
Actually, from that perspective, I really like that. So ultimately, the goal is for young people to move on from the foyer feeling stronger and more secure. So in your eyes, what does a positive move on journey look like?
I mean, it differs in everybody. I mean, everybody wants to move out and have their own place and be independent. Some people might build bridges and they go back to their family, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and that time that they're in the foyer is what was needed at that time. But I think for a move-on journey, I mean, in an ideal world, you want people to be happy, you want them to feel confident, you want them to be ready to go out there on their own.
Are there moments where you see someone go and you're like, oh, are they ready? Are they ready? And then they are. Do you often see that? Do you get to see much afterwards once they go? Yeah,
because we have a resettlement worker. Mm-hmm. So the support continues once they go. But we do have people that come back just to pop in, or they might need some advice years later.
Yeah.
And it's not so much us thinking, are they ready to go? It's them thinking, because when the realisation hits them,
I thought
it is a massive step.
Yeah.
But most of them, after a week, are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So with demand for supported housing rising nationally, capacity becomes a real issue. Do you feel that the current foyer is big enough to meet the needs of young people on the island?
I personally think there should be another foyer. I don't think the building that we have meets the capacity. I know that from the amount of referrals that we get through or sitting on panels. I just think ours is quite a nice size. I don't think I think any bigger might be too big if it was that one building.
Must be a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think, obviously, because of the youth homelessness, and that is rising, and the housing crisis.
And how does that youth homelessness on the island, how does that differ to, say, mainland?
Well, maybe because of the demographic of the Isle of Wight, it is smaller.
Yeah.
So I think, obviously the demographics in cities and things like that is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
We have a lot less opportunities, I think, work-wise and for our age group. We were talking about that today, Lewis, weren't we?
Yeah, there's not many opportunities on the island, like job-wise or really housing-wise.
Yeah.
There is a roof, I suppose, on the island, isn't there? And you can't it's not quite as simple as driving half an hour down the road. You're in the sea.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's an expensive channel of water to cross over.
Yes, it is. Anyone that's been to the Isle of Wight Festival would know that, let alone just for a little holiday.
Absolutely.
I did enjoy Black Gang Chine last year. My son liked the dinos.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to visit and kind of see that way of life, because it is different over there, isn't it? But I think the reality is when you're seeing it through rose-tinted glasses because it's a holiday or because it's a nice little visit, you don't get to see the reality of the restrictions that you're kind of left with. Even like deliveries over there as well.
It's slow.
Yeah. Foot Locker doesn't deliver to the Isle of Wight. I don't know why.
How does Amazon? Is Amazon all right?
Amazon's okay. It's not too bad.
Well, we probably shouldn't be talking about Amazon. Sorry, listeners. So for anyone that is listening and wondering about how young people actually access the support here, can you tell us what the referral process looks like and how it can be accessed?
So all of our referrals come from the local authority. Mm-hmm. That's who we're commissioned by. We have a contract with them.
Yeah.
Everything has to go through the Isle of Wight Council. Mm-hmm. So if there were any young people that were listening to this who were feeling that they needed to access that, they would contact them and then they would get an assessment and a referral completed, which then, when we have our void rooms available, it would come through to us. So it's all through the Isle of Wight Council. So
Lewis and Nina, your stories complement each other so nicely, one showing the lived reality and the other showing the framework that surrounds it. For this next part, I'd love to hear from both of you. So let's talk about the community that you have built at the Foyer and what surprises people and what you wish more people understood about youth homelessness. Nina, I'll come to you first.
So you mentioned community.
Yes, the community you've built.
And I do feel, again, I can use Lewis as an example of when we have young people moving in, that there's somebody there that will, it's quite scary. It can be very lonely. And it's inclusive. And people, they might not want to mix, they might not want to, but it is a respectful that you respect each other. Yeah. We live on a small island, so you might know somebody. Mm. And it's about recognising that everyone's in there for a reason, and that reason is important to them as it is to you. Yeah. You came down the other day, Lewis, didn't you, and mentioned some new young man that was in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, go up. Say hello, which he did. And it's just about that. It's just about taking away those barriers.
Does it feel like you're back at school in those moments? So it's like, go say hi.
Yeah, sometimes, but, you gotta make people feel welcome because, you don't know what situation they've come from. And it's all about making them feel welcome and at home.
What would you say helps young people feel seen, heard and respected?
By being listened to. Mm-hmm. By having an input and they're, taking what we do to them and making them a part of that, the collaboration that I spoke about earlier, and the peer support and them having choices. You know, the choices, you know, that's the big thing, not us saying this is what we do, this is what we're going to do. It's like, what would you like to do? How can we do that?
Anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that we do cooking activities as well, because a lot of young people will go into these into hostels like the Foyer or any other buildings like that, and they can learn to cook. I learned to cook from school and through Foyer as well. Taught me a lot of new recipes, and made a few friends while doing these activities as well.
And obviously, you don't lose it, do you, either?
No,
You need to be
it stays.
cooking, you need to be having balanced, dinners, and make sure you are looking after yourself instead of ordering kebab every other night. But what do you wish others understood about the reality of youth homelessness? Like, for example, let's say you see someone from school that you've not seen since you left school, and you're catching up about what's happened since, and you've got your scenario that you've been in, and they've got theirs, which is nothing quite like yours. What would you want them to understand?
I would want them to just be able to understand that, you know, the journey that I had, you know, it was pretty tough, and don't want them to like go slating me for it or anything. Just want to be able to have a nice normal conversation with them, no matter what situation that I might have been in. Just want to be able to talk to them, putting out all differences aside, and just getting on with life.
Yeah, just have that human to human connection.
Yeah.
I think with the youth homelessness, again, it's about the realisation that it can happen to anybody.
People think they're so far away from it.
Yeah, they do, you know, and it's a difficult journey. And we always say, these guys have already been on a journey before they get to us, you know, and they're already quite inspirational to be where they are. And their journey is really important to us too, but that's personal to them.
So we're going to go to closing now. But finally, Nina, what gives you hope about the young people that you work with?
The young people themselves. You know, again, I've just said I always find that they're all inspirational in their own way, but they just haven't seen that a lot of the time yet. And you've just always got to have hope, you know, because it's such a rewarding place. We do get some, you know, not every outcome is a positive one, but everyone that's been there has had some kind of positive input and received some support that they might take away with them. I just always believe there's hope, and it's there in the flesh.
Yeah, it's right over there. Yeah. Look at that, hope embodied.
I didn't think there was much hope when I first moved in there, but now I'm getting everything sorted out. I think I'm gonna get through life flying colours.
I mean, if you can deal with what you've already dealt with, I think you can look back to go, yeah, actually, let's make something good out of this life. Yeah. You only get the one, don't you? Yeah. Exactly. Lewis, what does the future look like for you now?
Oh, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I should have my own place soon. It's just about finding a steady job at the minute. I've been doing bits of voluntary work as well, helping out the community. I was shoveling sand not long ago, just to just clear the harbour and the walkway. Just trying to do anything really to keep me on my toes.
Keep you busy.
Yeah.
Is there a message that you'd like to share with another young person who might need the Foyer support?
You're not going to be stuck. Like you might think you're stuck. You might think you're in the lowest of the lows, but you're not. You just got to speak to someone, make sure you find the right help, and eventually it will all work out.
Before we finish, I want to highlight that the Foyer is just one part of SNG's wider supported and temporary accommodation offer. SNG provides a range of homes for people who need additional care or support, everything from shared houses and cluster accommodation to fully self-contained flats. Support can be 24-hour, occasional, or somewhere in between, depending on what each person needs. Most of these offers, like the Foyer, are a referral-based system from the local authorities. This kind of housing can support a range of people with varying needs, so please do check out the links below to learn more. So now, if you've been following the series, you'll know that we've had a little tradition running. One guest from each episode has passed on a question to the next person in the series. And Luis, you have the final handover in the series. So for our final episode, I will be sitting down with Mark Washer, CEO of SNG. So your question's going straight to the top. You've got a good opportunity here. Awesome. And a great platform. So ask anything you like. What would you want Mark to think about, reflect on, or respond to directly from you?
If you were a resident of one of S&G's supported living properties, what would you want to see improved first and why?
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Turning the Key at SNG. And of course, an even bigger thank you to our guests for joining us and spotlighting the reality of youth homelessness and the services that are available to support. So if you would like to learn more about Luis's story, click the link below to watch his video. We've also linked our support pages in case anything you've heard today affects you or someone that you know. Please know that you are not alone and that help is available. As always, our Pass the Question on tradition continues. Luis has left a brilliant question for our next guest, and it's a big one, because next time I'll be sitting down with Mark Washer, CEO of SNG, for our final episode of the series. A customer interviewing the CEO, why not? So make sure to tune in for the next episode. You won't want to miss it. I'm Phoebe Newton. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.